Foundation, send help. I got you, girl. Consider this your over 50 guide to flawless foundation every time. You're gonna wanna save this video because we're gonna talk about everything from finding your foundation shade to getting it to look flawless and last all day. Let's start with picking your foundation shade. The easiest way to pick your foundation shade is before you go to the makeup store, Ulta, Sephora, wherever you go to buy your foundation, you're gonna take a foundation shade that you already own that you know works for you in your shade. For me, this is a fantastic shade match for me. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Impeccable Foundation in shade 3N. I'm gonna write that down in my notes app on my phone, ABH Impeccable 3N. When I get to the makeup store, I'm gonna go right to the ABH display. I'm gonna pick up Impeccable in shade 3N. I'm going to swatch it on my hand, like so. I'm gonna try the new Milk Skin Tint. So I'm gonna go over to Milk and I'm gonna pick a shade I think I might be. Maybe I'm shade 8. I'm gonna take shade 8. I'm going to put it right next to Dior Impeccable in 3N. That's the Milk in shade 8, and that's Impeccable in 3N. Looks like I'm shade 8 in the Milk Hydrogel Skin Tint. That works for concealers too. You will never struggle with picking a shade in a foundation again. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's move on to application. A little bit controversial because not everybody exfoliates every day. When I was a working makeup artist, we always used to do a light exfoliation before makeup application. I'm using the Ordinary Glycolic. If you can't tolerate daily exfoliation with a glycolic, which is an AHA, you can do a more gentle toner. You can do lactic acid, mandelic acid. If you do this every day, your makeup's gonna be flawless. It just is. Hydrate your under eyes. No, we're not talking about concealer in this video because they're very intersected. I'm going to prep my under eye because I want this hydration under my eyes to soak in and plump out all those fine lines and wrinkles and help those crispy. I ring fingers and I just pat. Face analysis. If you have dry patches, a lot of us get dry around the nose, around the mouth, even up in the inner corner of the eye, I go in with the Danessa Myricks Moisture Repair Balm. This is gonna work for you if you have really dry skin, and this product was designed to be worn under makeup. You can use Vaseline, but I find Vaseline's a little bit more challenging to get around here. Those of us that use tretinoin, we know about these dry patches. A little bit of this under my eye. Pat everything in. Hydrate your skin. If you're oily, use a lighter cream like a water cream or a gel cream. If you're drier, you can go in with a little bit of a thicker cream. I don't use primer. I use skincare as primer. And this is the Dewy Milk Moisturizer from Tatcha. Beautiful under makeup. You're going to be one of two different girls. And to figure out which one you are, you're going to do a face assessment. Where do you need more coverage? Do you need more coverage in the perimeter like I do? A little bit of redness here on my cheek. I don't have a lot of stuff going on like in the center of the face. If you have more areas of concern that you need coverage in the center of the face, that's where you're going to start. I am going to start at the perimeter because that's where I need more coverage. With the Anastasia foundation, on the back of my hand, not this, one pump. You're going to take your foundation brush of choice. For a full coverage foundation, I'm going to use the K39 because it's airy and I'm going to be able to thin out this very full coverage foundation. I get that worked into my brush. As I'm working this into my brush, I'm spreading this product evenly into the bristle. As there's a little bit more collection there, I'm going to keep priming this brush. Then I'm going to start out here at the perimeter of the face, get it blended like this, and then I'm going to work my way toward the center, tapping and pouncing. As I pounce, I'm like doing quick little sweeps like this. There's plenty of product left in this brush. Your brain will fool you and tell you there's not, but there is. Redness around my nose. I've already covered my whole face and I still had enough to cover the nose. My goal with this foundation is to be able to sheer it out. I'm using a wispier brush. If you want more coverage, you're going to use a denser brush like the BK Beauty 101, the K1, the Anissa Pinnacle, something that's more densely packed. I have recently fallen in love with the K39 for foundation. Foundation is applied, it's even. Because we only worked with one pump of foundation and we primed that into the brush, what we have is a very thin layer of product. That is key. You want to work in thin layers. I know you see people coming here online and getting foundation all over the brush or dripping it onto their face and going like this. That is not going to give you an even application, and that layer is going to be too thick and it's not going to be able to dry, which means you're going to have to add powder and then you look like cake batter. After you have your base layer of foundation on, if you feel like you need more coverage, you can take out another pump it into the brush. I don't feel like I need more coverage. Could do that and just add another thin layer of coverage where you need it. So now I'm going to go in with some concealer and a little dot here right under my wing. Even though we're not talking about concealer, we sort of have to talk about it because of its close relationship to foundation. I have been loving the K20 for concealer. A lot of you are going to look at this brush and think it's too big. I actually think this is a perfect brush for beginners. One of the things that can happen to you if you don't have a lot of experience with makeup, you tend to think about makeup in sort of a vacuum, like this is my foundation, this is my concealer. And so what ends up happening is you have this line of concealer that's not really merged into the foundation. The size and the length of this brush do that work for you. Look at how well this concealer has now blended into my foundation. You can't even tell where the concealer is. Blend into that wing and lift up into the temple. All I'm doing is tapping and the brush is doing all of the work. It's a perfect application. It's got the right amount of product. Even though I'm working with a super full coverage foundation, I do not look like cake face. And neither will you. You can set your face. You really depend upon what you want your final makeup product to look like, what your skin type is, how much longevity you're looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and give Erica Taylor credit for that pink powder facelift where she takes pink powder. Did you see that happen just on screen? And takes it into her marionette lines, and because this is pink or bright, that brightness into the marionette lines gives you the illusion that it's being pushed out. A little bit of powder, set the under eye. This is a new powder from Alora. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm gonna light set. Oily skin, so I'll just take like a finishing powder all over the face. This is the new One Size Boucle Silk. I like to use a spray that brings life back into the face after powder. This is the One Size Powder Melt. You can use MAC Fix Plus. Any spray that has like a glycerin content to it, like the D'Alba spray would also work for this. It's gonna knock down that powder, bring back that real life skin look. That life back into the skin, taking the same brush that I used to set under my eyes, no additional product. I just give it a quick little tap in the T-zone where I don't wanna be overly glowy. And there you go. Now I'm gonna go do bronzer and contour in another video. Save this video for later and follow me for more content like this. Love you guys.